All right, we're live on YouTube. I'm going to share that real quick. I was trying to get it. I don't know if y'all know or not, but I was trying to get it to where on hang on. That real quick. Shut up. There we go. I was trying to get it to where when you like post it on Twitter that it like shows the thumbnail with the video playing. I don't know why it won't do that. Like it just posts the link.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why it does that. Maybe it will this time. I don't know. I'll ask Landon if it doesn't, see how they do it. No, just post the link again. I don't know. I'll figure it out. All right, let me forward here. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome into episode number 3, the Checkerboard Check-In. Here with the crew, as always. Got Sawyer, Murphy, D. Scott, Keenan, the regular goons, as always. How you doing, boys?
Doing good.
Well, yeah, just got a round of golf in today, in case any of you didn't know.
Yeah, we may have heard that a couple times.
We know.
Just a little jealous.
So it's been a good day.
Yeah. How cold was it over there in old Waynesboro?
Not too bad, until it got about dark. Like I was telling y'all earlier, couldn't see the ball on the last hole. So I bombed a drive, looked at my club, hit it right in the middle of the club face, never found it. So I was kind of peed off about that, but it's just how it goes sometimes.
Level of darkness doesn't affect my play at all. It's just consistently terrible. Yeah, just consistently bad. Day, night, in between, whatever. Doesn't matter. Well, we got a couple things to get to today. Don't know where y'all want to start off at. Little quick rundown. Got Kevin Steele, obviously, former Auburn defensive coordinator. Got the addition of him. We don't know what he's doing officially yet, as in true Tennessee fashion. He's here. He's doing something. We just don't know what yet. I'm sure they'll be very
Jones, Alabama role.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll be very quick to get us that info too. I'll hit up the athletic department tomorrow and let them know we really need to know. We got that. Just the latest on whatever coaching rumors going around. Transfer portal talk, which here the last couple weeks, little good, little bad. We discussed last week. Vol's got a QB in the mix now, but you need offensive linemen, and we're down one of those now. Never good. Mm-hmm. And then I've got one. We can save it for the end, though. A little fun. Pick one player from the 2021 season, any team next year that you want to add to Tennessee. I have a pretty good idea, think of what most people's picks are going to be, at least the position. I don't think mine's anything too outlandish, but any other things? Lady Vols playing right now. How much are they up by right now? What's the score?
They're down 1.
Down 1?
Down 1.
Left in the third.
The top 25 Lady Vols, we might add now.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. You get that title right.
Yeah, you know all about titles, don't you, D. Scott?
Yeah, I do.
Regional
Somewhat of an expert.
Yeah. That's the assistant to the regional manager, Dylan Scott.
What about the arm?
That would be D. Taylor.
Yeah, that's me, of course.
Yeah. That's the only person suited for the job. So
the regional manager always needs a good arm. You can't have a good hand without a good arm. R.I.P. Office on Netflix.
Yeah, I know.
Screw
Hey,
NBC. Screw
Comedy
NBC.
Central been playing it like crazy though.
Yeah, I'm recording it always.
Yeah.
Just
I got Peacock just for The Office and Parks and Rec.
I might have to do
Parks
it.
and Rec.
Honestly.
Parks and Rec's pretty good, too.
I'm still in the mad phase right now where I'm going to sulk about it for a couple of days. Then I'm sure I'll have to get it then. Well, we can start with Kevin Steele, I guess. Former Auburn defensive coordinator, like I said, was a player at UT, transferred to UT back in, what was that? Had to be like the 80s. No, he's 64 now, in his mid 60s, I believe.
Here from 78 to 79. I could be wrong.
79.
Something like that.
Well, so like we said before, I mean, I think I said it earlier in the week. I don't think you bring in a guy like Kevin Steele to be an analyst, anything like that. Even if that's his official title when the season gets rolling. I mean, it's no question that struggled at linebacker this year, except with the exception of Henry T, of course, our God Henry T. But everywhere else, pretty rough. The secondary didn't play like a Jeremy Pruitt secondary should in many respects. So I mean, we don't know exactly what he's going to do, but just my thoughts, and we'll get into what y'all think too. I mean, I think he's at least co-defensive coordinator. I don't know who winds up actually calling the shots, which is kind of I think it's a good thing anytime you can add a coach like that of his resume to the staff, but at the same time you don't want too many cooks in the kitchen, and I think that could you've got Pruitt, Ansley, and Steele now. We can get into what y'all think. That's just kind of my thoughts though.
All I gotta say is we better be the best defensive team in the nation with that staff. I think if Pruitt didn't get the job in 2017, there's a decent chance that Steele gets the job. Fulmer has always loved Steele, and I know he interviewed him in 2017, and you know his chops as far as coaching a position can be questioned, but as far as recruiting goes, you're not gonna find a better defensive name than Kevin Steele.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean we've got a defensive line position open too, and Rodney Garner. I mean he as good as a coach he is. I think his recruiting is out of this world. I mean that would probably be the main reason you bring him on. You do need a coach, obviously. Obviously, Jeremy Pruitt can't do both of those. We've got to make sure he can master what he needs to master first before he's sticking his hand in other positions. But I don't know if you get Rodney Garner, but I think there's a strong chance.
Yeah, no, it's been noted a lot too. If we get Gardner, it'll help with the transfer portal. The Auburn guys in the transfer portal, that'd be good.
Big Cat Bryant.
Yeah.
That's one.
Christian.
I know Alabama, which that's part of the portal talk too, but Alabama, Eddie Smith, defensive back. From everything I know, it was down to us and Alabama. He got a late offer from Alabama, and probably for the best he went there. But I know we need help in the secondary. We got Bryce Thompson gone. I did see Kenneth George returning. I think that happened from the last time we met. Kenneth George will be coming back for another season. I'd say I don't think Alante has officially announced it, but I think Alante will probably be back. So you got a little bit of good news there, and you could possibly have more coming. But, yeah, I think with transfers, having a coach come in like that, which all the talk on Vol Twitter when it happened was that this definitely means Pruitt is staying. And, I mean, I think that's a pretty solid assumption now. I don't think he's going anywhere now. Say what you will about this investigation, but I think if something that bad was going to come out by now, I think it would have already, personally.
Yeah. You're not going to allow the guy to hire somebody if you're just going to turn around and fire him and then have somebody restructure the whole staff.
Right. I mean, that's what somebody finally came out and said. I saw on Twitter. I think one of y'all liked it that Pruitt may. I mean, this wasn't just. I don't think you can hire somebody like that without Jeremy Pruitt knowing. Like that was some of the people on there were talking about. Like he's being brought in to be a head coach in waiting. I mean, I think that's pretty ridiculous. Honestly, I don't think you're going to tell your head coach, "Hey, here's your new defensive coordinator," and him just. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. So I think that puts a lot of that talk to bed, honestly. But you never know. Rocky Top is a strange place, especially in off seasons.
It's a roller coaster ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. So
but I think you put it best, D. Taylor, about or Keenan, whoever said it, you don't bring somebody like Kevin Steele in to be an analyst.
Yeah.
I mean, the type of resume that he has, I mean, he was the National Recruiter of the Year in, like, I think it said 2005 with Florida State. I mean, the last 5 or 6 years, maybe not this year, his defense is ranked in the top 20 nationally in points per game. So, I mean,
every year, I believe he won the Broyles Award a few years ago as well as the nation's top assistant.
Yeah, I think it was 2017.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we obviously struggled defensively. Bringing in a guy like Steele, who, can help you recruit. Personally, I think he'll be the inside linebackers coach. And it's like I asked on more important issues. Does that mean Moose is gone, Niedermeyer? I think he is. That's just me personally. I don't have any inside sources, but I mean, just looking at Steele's resume, he was a linebackers coach in the NFL. So that kind of, to me, I mean, you already have defensive coordinator in Derek Ansley. So I don't know. And from everything I've seen on Twitter, whatever, Moose is gone. So I don't know. I think Steele will definitely be a huge addition, and our defense will look better next year. Can't look much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely can't hurt anything. That's for sure. He definitely is going to help improve things. And I think talking about Rodney Garner, you got to make that phone call if you're Fulmer, Pruitt, whoever, because you need a defensive line coach. Like you said, D. Taylor, you can't be doing two things as a head coach. He has to figure out how to be a head coach first before he can try to coach the whole team and then coach a unit. So got to make that phone call to Garner, got to make that happen, and then try to get an offensive line coach because we're losing another offensive lineman in addition to the two that you just graduated and going to the NFL with Trey Smith. So I don't know. I just something's got to happen now. We can't keep sitting around and, being quiet and sitting on our hands and waiting for this investigation to finish. You got to wrap this thing up and get a coaching staff put together. That's just me.
And you can put together the best defensive staff in America, but if your offense doesn't change any from last year, then we're in the same spot. That's right. The problem. That's the problem with this team.
And going to talking about the O-line coach, I think it was like a week or two ago, I saw that the favorite to land the job was I think his name's Jim Turner, the guy the Bengals just fired. And looking at his resume, it's like a complete 180 from Kevin Steele. Like everywhere that he's been, it's just no good. In the NFL, college, wherever he's been. But that's a typical Tennessee hire, if there ever was one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It fits the description. The perfect crime. Yeah.
They were looking at Bo Davis, weren't they, before he ended up going, was it to Texas?
Yeah, I think so. Was he with the Lions? Is that who it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the top target from what I was reading. But
I've seen something. Is Doug Marrone up for the offensive line coach or the head
God,
coach?
I hope not.
Where did Doug Marrone come from? I just saw
I saw a Marrone Chaney projection as our coaching staff. Steele, Marrone, and Chaney projection, and oh my God, I would hate that.
With Chaney and Marrone in the same room, that room is going to smell like beef and cheese constantly. I mean, that's the only. I can't tell you anything for certain about Tennessee football, but you've got at least between those two guys, you got at least 700 pounds a man, just in a room like that. So
you have a good guard tandem, is what it looks like to me.
Yeah, that's what I said. I wrote an article last year before I think it was before we went to Volunteer Roadshow. It was right after Pruitt had assembled this staff. There's been a few leaves since then, but I think it was pretty close to the main core guys that are still here for this last season, with Will Friend and people like that still on. But that was the whole point of my article, was the assistant coaches as players. Like, where would you put them on the field? And Jim Chaney, I mean, that's what I wrote about him back then. There would be enough pancakes for an IHOP in there. I mean, can you imagine that guy on the offensive line? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be that, and you're gonna need more insurance on chairs, seats in the facility, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know, the Doug Marrone stuff. Typical Tennessee is about all I'll say about that. That's all I can say. Maybe we'd hire him. Maybe it'd be great, but it would be just us to hire a coach that. No ill will towards him, but I mean, he didn't exactly light it up with. I don't feel like just a terrible roster in the NFL. I mean, the Jaguars aren't good. Nobody's trying to say they're good here, but I've seen a lot worse NFL teams over the years. But they've got Urban Myers about a couple hours ago, so we'll see how that goes.
That's
likely going to have Trevor Lawrence too.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see Trevor Lawrence in a Jaguars uniform lining up against the Titans twice a year for the next how many years. That's going to be a real joy. Yeah,
especially if they get him a halfway decent target there. But
oh yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's like Murphy. It's like what Murphy said. That's kind of what I've been thinking, what we've all been thinking. I mean, it hurts from the transfer portal right now, because this is a prime time to be landing guys like that. It hurts from that same point of view if you've got our guys entering the portal, i.e. Wanya Morris, that you'd really like to keep. 5-star out of Grayson. Tennessee hasn't gotten many of those out of the last several years, so that's definitely one you'd like to keep. But if I'm in his shoes, I mean, I think I'm doing the same thing. I mean, you can't even guarantee that the head coach is going to be back from our administration, let alone an offensive line coach. We've heard about the hiring freeze and all this, but I mean, that's obviously not true now. So I mean, there's just smoke everywhere, and none of it helps. None of it makes any sense. And you've got National Signing Day, which I know it's not nearly to the level that it was before the early signing period came about, but I mean, that's still a lot of guys that are waiting on academics, transfers that are waiting a little bit longer. I mean, it's still, you want to have things in place for when that comes around. I mean, that's the one time of year. I'd say that and the day the season starts are the days that you want to be absolutely certain of what you've got. But for some reason, we can't get out of our own way to do that. That's my rant of the night, I guess, is just, which it's nothing new. I mean, we're all used to it by now, but I mean, I just wish for one time the incompetence would just look the other way for a second. I mean, I don't know. That's all I got for that. We kind of covered coaching there. I mean, like I said, I don't think, if it hasn't happened by now, I think Jeremy Pruitt's your head coach in 2021. I mean, depending on what comes out of the investigation, but like I said, I mean, if it was something serious, I think it would be out by now. I don't see any point in just hiding it. But that's that. Y'all have anything else in the transfer portal? Any names I'm missing?
I think, wasn't Ty Chandler after our last show?
Yeah.
Didn't he go to UNC?
Yesterday, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Ty Chandler headed to UNC. Go play with Sam Howell, which I'll get to later on in the show. But yeah, I think he'll get. I mean, North Carolina's running backs, weren't they the two that didn't they each have like 1,000 yards this year?
I think so.
I could be wrong about that. I know one did, and another one was very close to it. He may have.
Weren't they the team that one running back had like 350 and the other had like 250 in one game? Like they played.
Could be. Yeah, it could be.
It was like in the bowl game or something, wasn't it? Or their last game of the season?
I think it was against Miami.
Yeah, that's what I
think it was Miami.
And they have our former coach, who is our run CMG coach?
Gillespie.
Yeah, Gillespie. Yeah, they have our former coach as well. So there was a million reasons why he would go there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had 2 runners with over 1,000 yards this year. One of them averaged 8 yards a carry.
Yeah.
One of them 7 yards a carry. 28 combined touchdowns between the 2.
Yeah. So he'll definitely get some touches.
Yeah. With both, I don't know what year both of they are, but one was a senior, Michael Carter, and Vontae Williams is a junior. So if he comes back, I mean, but at the worst, I'd see Ty Chandler sliding into that second role automatically there.
Absolutely.
An offense that was dangerous this year. North Carolina, I mean, I give North Carolina credit. Mac Brown, when they hired him, I thought that was kind of going to be like a hire that many people thought Rick Barnes to Tennessee was going to be. When they hired him, I kind of thought, I was like, that's a job where he'll be there a couple years, then you'll see him retire and not going to do much. But hand up, I was definitely wrong about that one. UNC looks dangerous now. I wouldn't want to play them. That's all. Yeah, we had him, Brandon Johnson, going to UCF. That broke yesterday.
Yep.
I don't know as much about UCF these last couple of years. I know they're going to have a good quarterback next year. I can't remember his name. But
don't forget they were the unofficial national champs a few years ago. So
just a couple years ago, won the Natty.
The banner.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
hung a banner, had a parade and everything.
Yeah, they've got stability, which we don't have now. So I mean, that's one thing that stability says a lot nowadays.
It really is.
Brandon Johnson, Ty Chandler, Schamberger. That was the last one. Sean Schamberger apparently put his name in the portal, or was going to put his name in the portal, and then I think it was the next day pulled his name out.
Yeah, I was going to say it was a quick turnaround. Like,
I think it was the same day. Now that I'm thinking, I think it was the same day that all the Kevin Steele stuff went down. So that could have been a reason. But I kind of agree. Yeah, I kind of agree more with Sawyer. I think he'll coach more linebackers than he will defensive backs, which I'm sure he'll have a say in a little bit of everything. But I agree with you. I think him and Felton will be the 2 linebackers coaches, I would say, along with I think he'll probably depending on what I was talking about the other day with his contract situation at Auburn. I think there was some way to where if they label him as like an analyst, Auburn has to eat like a pretty big percentage of his contract. So it's what we said at the beginning. I wouldn't get too caught up in what his official title is going to be, but I'd say that's going to be more that when you see fall practice come around, who's he working with the most then, and on game days, who's he pulling aside then?
So he might have the Butch Jones title, but way more responsibility than Butch.
Yeah, if you can make a pot of black coffee, you can do more than Butch can. So I think everybody in here is qualified, honestly.
I was watching the national championship game, and Butch Jones was out there, coaching. I'm like, bro, sit down. Just stop.
He wasn't coaching. He was not coaching.
I'm like, yeah, coaching. I was like, he's talking to the players come off the field. I'm like, bro, go fill up the water bottles. Like, what are you doing?
That's what somebody said. He is the master, and I thought that the last couple of years, he's the master of just finding. I give him credit. He puts way more effort into that than he did the last couple seasons here. But I mean, he's the master of finding where the camera is going to be after a big play, and he's right there.
Yeah.
I mean, Najee Harris has to be tired of him by now. I know in the national championship, every time they showed him on the sidelines, Butch was whispering something into his ear.
Harris probably doesn't even know his name. I mean, honestly.
I think that's what we said last episode. I think he probably turned halfway through and is like, who is this guy? Like, why is he everywhere?
How did a fan get on the field?
Yeah, he's a traveling journalist or something covering the team.
It's one of those Make-A-Wish children. He's wanted to be in season.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So
That's his dying wish is to talk to Najee Harris.
Oh man.
Honestly, Lady Vols within 3 with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left, by the way. But honestly, if you ask me, our biggest loss in the transfer portal was DeAndre Johnson, our sack leader from last year. That's you just can't really replace that. And we were grooming him, to be the next Darrell Taylor. So that's my tough loss for the year. I know Wanye Morris is up there, but he's not officially gone yet. I would say DeAndre Johnson's the biggest loss in the transfer portal.
Yeah, I'd say if Morris does officially leave, I would agree. But yeah, besides him, I would probably agree with that. Because Brandon Johnson, I mean, I think he's a good player, but he didn't contribute much. Now, I don't know if that's more of people pass him on the depth chart, which I think is a little bit of it. But I mean, he showed he was a solid player in his career. So, and UCF, I mean, that's a decent system to go to. So I don't think there's anybody that's left that's just really made me mad yet. I mean, if Morris leaves, that'll be pretty tough. But I mean, I don't think you can fault anybody for leaving this situation right now.
Right.
Especially a guy like JT Shrout, who I didn't want to lose at all. I think we covered it before. I would have rather had Maurer transfer over Shrout. But
yeah.
We can get into that a little bit, I guess. I didn't have many topics written down just because, I mean, it's kind of – there's never a slow week, but it's kind of – besides Kevin Steele, there wasn't really just any huge news for the team next year. I mean, you've got transfers, but that's pretty normal this time of year. Mm-hmm. I think we talked about it last show, but it was Hendon Hooker. Mm-hmm. You've got him coming in. You've got Salter. You got Harrison Bailey, and who else? Brian Maurer. You've got those 4. As of right now, who starts week 1?
Bailey.
I think it's Bailey.
2 Baileys.
Hooker. Hooker's more experienced.
I'll lean more Bailey, but I think Hooker's got a good shot at beating him out just because of the experience and the different things that he can do that Bailey can't do. If he comes in to fall camp and lights it up, he could take the job. I would hate to see it because I'm the biggest Bailey fan there is, but that's going to be tough.
What's Salter's outlook next year?
Yeah, I was about to say I wouldn't hate it if Caden Salter came in and made his presence known. I really wouldn't.
Yeah. Be like a little Hooker Jr.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe a Dobbs Jr.
Yeah,
they're both. If either one was half what Dobbs is, I think that's all you need.
Yeah.
I mean,
see, it's weird. We got we got 2 pairs of really both styles of quarterback. We got 2 quarterbacks that are going to be able to move, and then we got 2 quarterbacks that really are better just to stay in the pocket and throw it. Because that's something I noticed with Bailey last year when he played. His pocket awareness was kind of rough. Like, he would just stand in there and take it. He didn't move out. He didn't roll out very much. So, I mean, I guess I could kind of determine the way our team's going to go. We're going to try to go with more of a scrambling quarterback or stand in the pocket and, launch it downfield. And
back to Morris, I think could depend on the offensive line too. What kind of line are you going to have next year?
Yeah,
which
exactly.
That's another reason it'd be nice to have an offensive line coach right now. But
yeah,
I guess we're in the minority of thinking that way. I mean, yeah, if it's kind of evident you're not going to have a great line next year, which I don't think it should be bad at all. But I mean, everybody thought this year's line was going to be dominant, and they were for a few weeks, and then we just don't know what happened after that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you've got Mays coming back, both Mayses, Darnell Wright, Calvert, Carvin,
Jameer Johnson,
Spraggins. Is Johnson coming back?
Everything I've seen, I've seen some projected offensive depth chart on Bleacher Report, and he's the starting left tackle on every one of them. So
I thought he was out of eligibility.
I don't know if he said anything about whether or not he will come back, but judging off that, I'd say he is. And
Well,
the thing,
Taylor,
here's my question I have when it comes to the quarterback. What style of offense are we going to run? And by that, I mean, are we going to run the offense we ran this year where we run the dive twice, get to a 3rd and long, and have to throw it? Or are we going to try to be more explosive, use guys' legs like Hooker and Salter? Or if you want to go more to the passing game, maybe you do go with Bailey. I don't know. But I do think our offense is going to have to make a change in philosophy. Now, I mean, obviously, we all heard that Pruitt was telling them to play conservative or whatever, play it safe. But sometimes, I mean, man, you got to take a chance. You've got to push the ball downfield, make people respect you. Because, I mean, you've got guys like Jalen Hyde out there who can outrun just about anybody. I mean, why are you not trying to get the ball down the field to him? Or like a guy who Malachi Wideman's supposed to be a freak athlete, and I think he is, seeing his high school tape. Get him the ball downfield. Just find ways to get your playmakers the ball and let your playmakers make plays, whether it be Bailey, Hooker, Salter, whoever. But that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I was saying about, like, just you got to find what your style is going to be. If you know you're not going to have a great line, which I don't think that should be the case, I could easily see. I think it should be Bailey starting first week. I tend to agree with that more, even though I love dual threat quarterbacks way more than a pocket passer, just because.
For college, especially.
Yeah, this time 10 years ago, I mean, you read dual threat and you thought, okay, this guy's a runner and we're going to teach him to pass.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, that's just not the case. Yeah, I mean, you've got guys like Salter coming in that even if he isn't the most polished passer, I mean, he can chuck it 65 yards down the field with ease. So, I mean, I just always tend to lean more towards dual threat. But I would say Bailey's going to start week 1, but I could easily, like y'all said, I could easily see where Hendon Hooker is the starter week 1. And I could see a situation where if they struggle out of the gates, I mean, maybe Caden Salter midway through the year. Yeah, if we learn to change a quarterback out when they're struggling. That's another thing we've got to learn too. Just go ahead and add that to the list of stuff to do. But yeah, I agree. I agree with all of that. I mean, I could see it going any of those ways, honestly.
Salter's not going to come in and sit behind and let the other two guys take the job. Yeah. He's going to come in with all that swagger and confidence that he's got, and he's going to try everything he can to get that job. Yeah. So it wouldn't surprise me if at some point, like you said, if we struggle with Bailey and or Hooker and they go to him, it would not surprise me one bit.
Yeah, because it looks like we're going to have a spring practice this year. Now, I don't know what it's going to look like, but he will get that because I think he's playing in the state championship Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember what day, and he's set to enroll like 4 days after that. Yeah, he'll be playing his high school state championship and then have his first college class like 4 days later. I think that was David Ubben that reported that. But, I mean – yeah, I could see it anyway, honestly. Speaking of, one of y'all made that note a minute ago, Malachi Wideman. I think Murphy liked it on Twitter earlier, or his Instagram, where he his first day of practice with the basketballs was today, and he's supposed to be releasing a video of his after practice dunks or something. So, I mean, I don't know how much he'll play this year. Yeah. A team we don't have much athleticism, really. It's just a bunch of space play and shoot threes. That's all we've seen. I don't know if he gets in the game much this year, but yeah, I mean, like you said, you're never going to complain when you've got a guy like that just is going to come over from the football field and just he can suit up and hit his head on the rim. I mean, those aren't just a dime a dozen, but. Yeah, I could see that. And another story, 24/7 Sports, they have their, I think it's their weekly like national podcast they do, which the Tennessee guys do one too, but they have like their national recruiting. They were, I know they were discussing Caden Salter on there, and they told a story about this past summer, I believe it was in a 7-on-7 camp. He went out for the coin toss to start the game, and there was like another quarterback there that's signed to USC now. I think he's a 4-star. Salter, like they said, Salter didn't know who he was. Went out there, like shook hands, talked to him, and then said he was going to show him what a 4-star quarterback really looked like. So it doesn't sound like he's short on confidence at all. I'll have to find the link to that and send it to you. But that was, if he can back it up, I mean, I'll take that all day long. If Tennessee can't win the physical edge, then go for the mental edge, man. Get in people's heads. And if you got somebody like that not lacking confidence at this age, I mean, if he can come in and command the huddle, which was something I know Bailey struggled with early on, I'm all for it.
Something this team needs is somebody that's going to come in with that confidence and that thought process of, okay, I know I'm the best on this field, and I'm going to make everybody else around me the best. I need you all to bring it because I'm bringing it. Because that's something this team hadn't had. I mean, I know you've got those guys like Trey Smith and your older, senior players that have been leaders, but after Juwan left, you haven't had anybody. I mean, I know it's been a year, but there's not really anybody on this team that's got that. I don't really know what to call it, that dog in him, if you will. And I feel like Salter's going to bring that with him, and then that's going to be a plus to the whole team, not just the offense.
So somebody that's going to say when it's a struggle, just get me the ball and I'll go make a play. And even though Josh Dobbs wasn't loud, cocky, anything like that, I mean, a lot of that was how he played. I mean, there was that play against Northwestern in the bowl game where we were up by a lot, but it was just the point of get him the ball and he's just going to go make a play. There was a bad snap, picked it up and just ran around the edge and like it was nothing, like a 30-yard score. I mean, it's just some people, no matter how good of an athlete you are, some people just don't have that. Just the get me the ball. I mean, that was the play Juwan against South Carolina that really got us all. I mean, we had a little momentum right then, but it was just throw it up and he's going to go get it. I mean, he took a shot, hit the brick wall, and it doesn't even affect him. Now, Juwan's insane too. I mean, that's why they call him the dog. I mean, he would bark at people in the meeting rooms from what we've heard. But so he took a dog very literal, but I mean, that's what you want. And I mean, look at the results, 8-5 to 3-7. I'm not saying that's all one man, but somebody that can step up and say, hey, this ain't gonna happen. Not on my watch. It's not. I mean, that's something you've got to have. I don't care if he's a 5-star or a 2-star. You've got to have somebody that's a playmaker that can do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. That was all I had there. How long have we been going? It's been about 30 minutes. It's gonna be a shorter show tonight. I think we normally aim for an hour. I think we went an hour and 15 last time, which it didn't seem like that at all. We can get into the last thing I had here. It was if you could pick any player from next year that's returning from any team all across the country, who would you pick and who would you insert into next year's team? I'll start it off. You want me to, or if somebody else has one?
I want to start just so nobody steals mine because I feel like mine's super obvious. Obviously, everybody in Tennessee wants him, but give me Eric Gilbert. I mean, obviously, the former 5-star tight end, high school teammates with Harrison Bailey. I mean, why would you not want him? I mean, the dude's a freak. I watched him when he was at Marietta. I watched him at LSU. Some kind of playmaker like that. It doesn't hurt either that, like I said, he played high school ball with Bailey. But we were lacking playmaking skills at the tight end position. Now, you could say some of that went back to the quarterback play. But, I mean, look at our depth chart at tight end. There's no game changer. And I think Gilbert could be a game changer. Just as how his size, athletic ability. Give me Eric Gilbert.
In the whole process of me thinking about that, of all these players, I'm embarrassed. I never once thought of Eric Gilbert. I don't know why, but he just completely slipped my mind. I don't know how that happened. I don't know. I guess just because I haven't seen him that much really. And he's just, I don't know, LSU had a down year maybe. Maybe that's why I didn't think of him. But yeah, that's a solid pick. Murphy, was that your pick too? I saw your face after he said that.
It was one of the ones I had considered, but I've got a couple more, so don't worry, I got it.
Okay, sweet. Who you
I
got?
didn't have anyone else. I couldn't think of anybody. So,
So I've got two. I've got one on either side of the ball, and I'll go more defense because I think we might have a couple more offensive guys just looking at things. Give me a guy that when he was in the, I think it was the class of 2019, might have been 18, I can't remember. Really, really wanted him. 5-star receiver. Give me George Pickens. Give me that dude on the outside. A guy that I think would just fit a need at Tennessee, that big-bodied receiver that's got everything you want in a receiver: speed, the ability to go up and high point the ball. He's going to catch anything around him. I mean, we've seen all the ridiculous catches he's made on the sidelines in the end zone, Randy Moss and dudes over the top. I mean, he's just got it all. And I think you pair him up with Jalen Hyatt, who's got speed to burn. We've talked about him and the other guys that are on the team at receiver. Put a good quarterback back there, hopefully a better year for Bailey or whoever's going to play Hooker, Salter. And I think you have an offense, not necessarily that one receiver is going to make the difference, but sort of like an Eric Gilbert, where just a playmaker that can come in and change the whole scope of the offense. So give me George Pickens. Oh, I said I was going to go defense, and I went offense, didn't I?
Hey, go both. I don't care either way.
Okay, my bad. I guess I really wanted Pickens.
I looked at Pickens too, and I was like, yeah, that's a solid pick.
I guess I was subconsciously really wanting him. Defensively, guy out of Marietta, Eric Gilbert, Harrison Bailey's former teammate. Give me B.J. Ojulari from LSU. Yep. Need a guy off the edge.
Yeah.
Consistently get to the pass quarterback. Give me Ojulari. I won't go into in-depth with him because I rambled with Pickens. So my bad on that one.
No, you're fine. I guess I'll go next. I went more of – y'all went playmakers, which I like, but I went more of last season coming in, the question mark was quarterback. This year coming in, a big question is going to be quarterback. So I'm just tired of the question marks back there, I guess. So I'm getting a guy that's the furthest thing from that, I think. And we mentioned his team earlier, but I want Sam Howell out of North Carolina. I mean, he had a down year this year, and I know I still got it pulled up here. He had a down year from 2019, and he still threw for 30 touchdowns to 7 interceptions.
Down year.
Yeah. For a North Carolina offense, that was insane. I mean, North Carolina, a lot of what – I don't want to say holding them back because we talked about – I mean, I think they're on the rise very quickly. So I don't want to say hold them back, but I think that was more defensive issues. Their offense, I mean – I was going to say was as good as anybody in the country, but that Alabama offense was – I've never seen anything like that. So I'll hold off on that comparison. But besides them, I mean, I think North Carolina, Ohio State, I mean, you're a very close second there. And, I mean, he's at North Carolina. I mean, you're fighting for Clemson players there. Imagine what Sam Howell could do with Jalen Hyatt. And, I mean, I'm sure Josh Palmer is gone now, but we've got playmakers everywhere. We've got a good running back. So I went with eliminating the question mark early on and just give me Sam Howell because everything I've seen from him since he's been in college is ridiculous. I mean, I've still got his stats pulled up. He went 2019, which was his freshman year, 61% completion, which for a freshman, 61%, that's solid. He threw for 3,600 yards, 38 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions with a 160 passer rating. And then this year, in what was considered a down year, 68% completion, which is higher. He threw for about 60 less yards and 8 less touchdowns, still 7 interceptions, and his passer rating was nearly 180. I mean, that's something That's something Tennessee hasn't had since. I mean, Dobbs was solid. Tyler Bray was solid. He was kind of wild. I mean, have we had somebody that's putting up numbers like that consistently, like he is since? I mean, Casey Clausen maybe.
Not even close. Yeah.
And yeah, Clausen, I don't even think his numbers were in terms of like passing yards. I don't think it was even close to that. I could be wrong. He could have had a year that was like that, but yeah. I mean, as soon as I thought of that topic to talk about, I mean, I looked at other ones. I looked at what was Murphy's. I looked at Pickens, defense. At the time, I guess I'll count this. I'm not going to get too specific with it, but I was going to go Dylan Moses, even though, I mean, he's going pro next year. But when I was thinking of this, he hadn't officially announced. He officially announced like 30 minutes after I thought of it. I would have went Dylan Moses just because you struggle at linebacker and you need a cover linebacker. And I mean, Dylan Moses does it all at linebacker. He's everything you want back there. So that would have went my pick defensively, but he's going pro now. So give me Sam Howell or give me death.
Well, for me, I was going to go Eric Gilbert or Darnell Washington with Sawyer, so that was good that you went first. My second pick, I had two choices, either Tank Bixby or DJ Ugalele. Y'all going to have to help me with that.
That's close enough.
Yeah.
I couldn't do any better.
It looks like Clemson has got another superstar quarterback in the making. Something that, you know, we're all jealous of. And Tank Bigsby had a hell of a year at Auburn. So either one of those for me. I would probably go with DJ just for a proven quarterback, which is something we haven't had since Loco, Tyler Bray. So that's where I go with.
I like that.
Oh.
I looked at him too.
Mine's short and sweet and a little different. I'm going with the D-line. That's all of mine were D-line. My first two choices were Marvin Wilson with FSU and Darius Stills of West Virginia. Both just studs that are going to control the line of scrimmage. But both of them declared for the draft, so that's kind of makes them ineligible for this little segment. But I went and looked a little more. Kayvon Thibodeau. I think we've gotten a lot of momentum as far as our linebackers go, and we got the talent in the secondary. So I think we need a stud on the D line that is going to control the line of scrimmage from tackle to tackle. That's going to help us shut down the run game with Henry T, but then can also put pressure on the quarterback, and that'll take some stress off the secondary. So that's what I went with, Kayvon Thibodeau with Oregon.
I watched them play USC in the Pac-12 championship game, and it was like every play he was in the backfield. Like they could not block him whatsoever.
Yeah.
He's a stud. He was the number one player in 2019?
Yeah, something like that.
I think so.
He's a 5-star.
He's looking every bit of it too.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
I think that's all solid picks. I think we're recruiting coordinators. We don't get paid to, but I think we did just a good enough job.
I hope what's his face Andy isn't watching this. He's the number one recruiter. I mean,
he might claim it. We'll fight him. I'd take anybody in this group over him. Seeing his
these guys, we definitely get the credit, right? If Gilbert shows up at Knoxville tomorrow, Checkerboard Check-In called it first.
Credit at Sawyer Turnbow. Yeah. Called it first. I'm sure we'll get Sam Howell too. I'm sure he's looking for a change of scenery.
Yeah.
Especially since Hooker just transferred. Yeah, that'd be a smart move.
He just craves competition. Apparently, I mean, we were in on Sam Howell in high school too. That's what kills me. Apparently, we didn't want him. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, I know he's a Florida State commit, but I remember back then it was Florida State, Tennessee, North Carolina may have been in on it right then, but I feel like there was.
They were in the picture much until Mac Brown got there.
Right. Right. It was Florida State there for a while that when it became clear Tennessee was kind of out, it was Florida State. But I mean, with our quarterback situation, I don't know how you that would have meant we took Brian Maurer over him. Maurer's going into his third year? Yeah, Sam Howell's going into his third year. I mean,
good choice.
Look at quarterbacks that we didn't get that we could have got.
Michael Penix.
Yeah. Penix.
Trevor Lawrence. Sam Howell. I mean, I don't know that we would have got Sam Howell, but from every indication, Trevor Lawrence wanted to come to Tennessee until Butch basically told him, "No, we're good." We got Jared Garantano. That in when they were doing the Heisman presentation, they showed Trevor Lawrence in a Peyton Manning jersey.
Yeah, I remember that.
He wears 16 because of Peyton Manning. You're telling me that man didn't want to come play here? Great job, Butch. That's why you get to see the big buck. Man, it hurts. It hurts to think about stuff like that, but you have to.
He's building with the wrong bricks.
Even back to who was the Florida quarterback? Will Greer. Will Greer was a solid quarterback throughout his career. He loved Tennessee.
Yeah.
And we just didn't go after him for whatever reason. I don't understand that.
Then he gashed us in that opening game. What year? 2017?
17.
We played them down in Charlotte?
Or 18.
Yeah, it
was 18. Okay.
First game for Pruitt.
Yeah, 2018. Yeah.
We got absolutely gashed.
I just don't – I mean, it's more of me on my soapbox here talking, but if I'm a coach, I'm taking 2 quarterbacks every year. I don't care if I've got Trevor Lawrence as the starter that – even after his freshman year, you got 2 more years of him. I don't care. I'm bringing in 2 quarterbacks every year that I want. That if that way you can get one that protects you. You can get one that's if he's highly rated and he wants to come here, fine. And then you do your pick. Like the Maurer over Sam Howell. We wanted Maurer over him, even though I know Sam Howell is higher rated too. Take the higher rated guy and then get your guy too and see how it turns out. Because I mean, you're not going to be able to avoid transfers nowadays anyway. I mean, people transfer all the time. If worst case scenario, if somebody's transferring like that, that means you found your guy then. I mean, so I'll get off my soapbox again, but.
Hey, one guy I'm glad we didn't get is Tate Martell.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He's
him on what's it called? QB1 on Netflix. And then just all the drama he's had. The only reason I thought about him is I saw a tweet not long before we got on, and he's coming back to Miami. He opted out of this year, and now he's coming back. So he'll probably think he's going to be the starter, but he'll probably do something, opt out again, sit out again because he's not.
How long that lasts? Yeah. Well, we'll see how long that lasts.
Mm-hmm.
Did he move to receiver? Or is he still playing quarterback?
He's still QB from what I've heard. He's trying to be.
Yeah, I think he switched to receiver for a while and then he opted out. But I know the article said quarterback Tate Martell returns to Miami. So I don't know what he's doing.
I think they said it on that show. Did he ever lose a game in high school?
No,
he didn't.
He played at pretty much the best high school in the nation.
Yeah, Bishop Gorman
at the time.
Yeah,
Bishop
4
Gorman.
Great years, four. Yeah, I liked QB1. I hope they're bringing it back, aren't they, for another season?
I hope.
I thought I read they were. I've been waiting on it to.
How many
out.
seasons have they done? 2 or 3 so far?
I think they've done 3.
3, I think.
Yeah, they did. The first year was Martell and Fromm. The second year was Justin Fields and somebody. Justin Fields, Real Mitchell was one. And then the third year, Real Mitchell may have been the third year. Third year, the headliner was that Hartman kid for Wake Forest.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I thought Hartman was in the same year as Fields.
Who is?
I thought Hartman was in the same year as Fields.
He may have been, honestly.
I'm gonna
I
have
can't
to
even
Google
remember.
this.
I think it's yeah, because the third year was Spencer Rattler. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Him and some dude from Lance LeJean or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Went to
uh,
Maryland.
Mid-June, yeah.
who was the other one?
Nick Scalzo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kentucky
from
kid.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Second year was Fields, Hartman,
Reed,
and Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Right.
Year one.
It's saying
they
there's
had-
gonna be a
they
season
Yeah, I
four.
hope they bring it back.
It says there's going to be a season four.
I thought I read. Which who
Uh,
knows when that'll come out now. All the
According to
COVID
reports, it
stuff.
looks like Alabama's Bryce Young, Florida's Anthony Richardson, and Georgia's Carson Beck will be the 3 quarterbacks cameras will follow. That's what this article says.
That's a
It's
solid
from
group.
August. Yeah. So I can't find when it's going to be released, but storyline more. It's 2020. Okay. I don't know when it's going to be released, but
I'm betting a lot of that got backed up with COVID.
Oh, yeah.
I bet a lot of it's got the filming got that schedule got screwed up. So yeah, I'm glad they're still making it though. I really enjoyed that series, especially when I've watched all of Last Chance U now, and they're switching to basketball.
Yeah.
Which I think
Yeah,
is a
I
huge
kind of wish
mistake.
they would have split with football.
yeah.
I
Do
don't
a
know why they
separate
can't
show
make-
for basketball.
Yeah, make one for each. Do football, baseball, and one about JUCO or one about JUCO baseball would be hilarious. I mean,
That would be so fun.
that's a money maker, and they're sitting on it, and they don't even know they are. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, just make one for each sport. That's it can't be that much of a budget to do one. I wouldn't think. I mean, it's a camera crew at each school, but I mean, I don't think there's that much more production that would go into it from what I've seen.
Who was your favorite coach? Stevens, Brown, or what was the last guy? Beam? Coach Beam? John Beam?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Definitely not Brown. I hated
my
Brown.
favorite.
Go ahead.
Mine might have been Jason Brown. I don't know. It might have been.
I was
I
gonna
didn't
say
like
that.
him. I didn't like
Come
him
on,
really.
bro.
But I hated Buddy Stevens. I couldn't stand Buddy
I wasn't
Stevens.
big on
And the third guy was just kind of odd. I mean, he didn't really. I
Yeah,
didn't think he was bad or anything. He just kind of weirded me out a little bit. I don't know.
he's really laid back.
Beam.
Yeah, I don't. Well, see, that's the thing. He kind of acted laid back, but then like that was the big thing that some of the players were mad about. Was like I don't think they were mad, but like the jersey number thing, like they didn't get to pick the number or something like. I don't know. He put off like that he was kind of laid back, but then you're doing stuff like that where like the players can't even pick their numbers. I'm like,
Yeah,
I didn't like Jason Brown really, but
It was good
I kind of
TV.
did at the same time. So
He was pretty funny. Granted,
he was
did a lot of
hilarious.
things that probably shouldn't have been done, shouldn't have been said. But
Right.
I mean, I don't know. They kind of pulled. Like, how do you go from? I think they lost like one game the first year that they were there at ICC, and then the next year they were like Tennessee dumpster fire.
yeah,
You know,
That's-
like they did a. Oof.
That's the thing with a guy like him. If you're not winning, you're not going to be there long because
No.
you're already giving people reasons not to like you. So, I mean, I'm not trying to downplay the fact of him calling a kid or telling a kid that he was his new Hitler. Obviously, you can't do that. Like
Yeah.
that shouldn't have to be said. Like, but
You've
Like, how
got
do you not? How do you not
something, I
think
think
about
something
that?
like that. If you're winning championships, I think they probably not saying one way or another that they should or shouldn't. But if you're winning championships, maybe that's something that they kind of look at and are like, because we all know it's a business.
Let
I
it
mean,
slide, yeah.
yeah, that's something that's, hey, here's some hush money for the kid. Go apologize. Now go win more games. But when you do that after, well, I think they went like 2-8, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and you've already given a lot of the older people in the town a reason not to like you. Yeah, I mean, at his peak, I liked Jason Brown, but I don't know. I understand why you don't like him, D. Scott.
I hate him.
I'd never see somebody that didn't like him and be like, yeah, I don't understand that. Like I
hate
get
him.
why people don't like him.
especially like having been a coach, and I know it's not a college coach, but or having been a coach and a player, having somebody like that is just it would piss me off so bad.
And it's all about like
anything done.
It's different styles too. Like that's the thing. Like that's why if you're hiring a coach nowadays, as much as their football knowledge and acumen, all of that comes into it, you got to see if they're a people person. I mean, you just, because especially nowadays, like, I mean, there's some people you yell at them and they'll shut down. There's some people that the only way they'll ramp up is if you yell at them. So I definitely understand why you wouldn't like him though. I'm glad Murphy did agree with me though. I thought I was going to be the only one that liked Jason Brown.
No, definitely not.
Buddy Stevens, I don't know. He just seems so fake all the time to me.
Yeah.
He just never would let up on people. Like I think he thought he was Nick Saban in his own mind, but he doesn't understand. Like you can't just win and be Nick Saban. Like the reason he's so successful is he knows how to deal with different personalities like that.
Hey, my favorite person is the counselor from EMCC.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. B-Wag. Yeah. Her and Ronald Ollie.
Yeah. Man,
yeah.
It made me so mad. He made it. Like he was on the Raiders while they were on Hard Knocks. And like he had this very minor injury, and that's why he got cut, because he wasn't practicing.
Yeah.
He's a rookie, and he sat out of most of the practices, just on that bike, just halfway pedaling. I'm like, bro, you need to earn your spot right now. Like, stop being lazy. And the only reason I thought that is because you saw him in Last Chance U. You could tell he did kind of have that in him.
Yeah.
If he wanted, he was going to go when he wanted to go. But I was like, bro, what are you doing right now? And I don't know if he's with anybody right now or not, but
last time he may have. I thought I heard something about the Canadian League with him. Now that could have been somebody else. That I could have just pulled that up out of nowhere, but I thought that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Ollie. What was the second season of Mississippi?
They had Tim Bonner.
Yeah, the D end. I love Tim Bonner.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the lineman? Chauncey Rivers.
Yeah.
Mississippi State.
Georgia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He started out at Georgia, then went to Mississippi State after Last Chance U. That Dakota Allen, I'm pretty sure he's with the Jaguars.
Yeah, he did really well.
He's a special teams guy, I think. But
didn't he get drafted?
I think he did.
Yeah, he got drafted. So.
I know we had so many Last Chance U fans and QB1 fans in here. I should have known.
Yeah.
I mean, we all live and breathe college football, so that was done by me. But
yeah, it's a great shows.
Yeah.
I'm out of series to watch now that The Office is off Netflix. I think I'm going to restart Friday Night Lights.
See, I've never watched it before. I hope the basketball.
I'm going to restart that too.
Yeah.
I hope basketball is as good as football was. I love college basketball. I love Tennessee, but I can't get into it like college football. College baseball would be hilarious.
Yeah.
I feel like most people in Knoxville feel the same way, because despite how good our basketball team is, what headline number one's gonna be most of the time. So
where the money's at.
Yeah.
Especially somewhere like a JUCO. I think that's why JUCO baseball would be so hilarious, because the little bit of money that JUCOs do have are going to football and basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, seeing JUCO programs close by here, it would just, I know it would be hilarious, of all the crappy facilities there are, everything like that. It would. That's part of the reason I like the Indy a little bit better than EMCC. At points, I had things I liked better about each one, but the EMCC, I mean, it was kind of a D1 program around those parts. I mean, they've got the facilities, everything.
Yeah,
that's what I like about Indy a little bit better. I thought it was more like representing what more like real JUCO was.
Yeah, for sure.
You know that better than anybody, D. Scott, around being around athletic programs like that.
Yeah.
What is Radford?
Radford's Division I.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, we're Division I. We're in the Big South.
Okay, I thought they were
so
D2.
Nah, it's just one of the smaller schools. I mean, we're pretty good. We don't have a football team, and we'll never get a football team. But no, we were pretty good at basketball. You know, Carly Jones at Louisville. He was at Radford for a couple of years, and I mean, he tore it up here too. But soccer, baseball, and softball are hit and miss as far as how good we do. Everything's really kind of rebuilding right now. So we were supposed to be on ESPNU tonight, but it got canceled because of COVID, or postponed because of COVID.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we were in there with Liberty and Coastal, and then they both left because they were typically a lot better than us.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Especially this year.
Yeah, it's pretty cool getting. Work for Division I athletics. It's something different. You know, get paid to basically watch sports. So I'll take it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, whether you like the sport or not, you're getting paid to watch it. So.
Right. I'll watch badminton for a check.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So you get all the free T-shirts and stuff like that. They'll feed you every once in a while, and championship shirts and hats and all that. So it's pretty fun. And you get to see all the athletes. I got to see Carly. I know Tennessee basketball had a transfer to Campbell, I think. I forgot what his name is, but Campbell's in the Big South. So they come up.
I remember who you're talking about. I can't remember what his name was, though.
So we get to see him and, other people like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, that was about all I had for tonight, I think. We're gonna have to think of more segments like the adding a player. I like doing stuff like that, especially on slow weeks like this when there's not much. We'll have to think of more stuff like that.
I'm trying to get down to Knoxville for baseball this year. I wanted to go last year, and then COVID kind of screwed that. So,
It's supposed to be, if they're allowing media this year, I'm supposed to be getting another pass for that, I think. But who knows if that's going to happen or not. Yeah, that was something I was going to say too. Tony Vitello, best coach on UT's campus. Sorry, Rick Barnes. I do love Barnes. Do love him. But baseball, they're still projected. That was Tony Vitello. Trey Wallace reported this. I think they had Vitello on the Knoxville radio up there today. They're still on schedule to start February 19th. All conference schedule is the same. Right now they've got 55 games scheduled. So as of right now, they're full go, good to go. I know there was some discussion this last week among like the ADs for the baseball programs. I know there was discussion about doing what football did and doing conference only just to cut down on travel. But I hope they don't. But as of right now, they're still good to go. Full 55, non-conference conference. So
that's good.
If I have any free time, I'll be making the trip up there.
Yeah. Now we all got to figure out if they do. We're going to meet up.
Yeah, if y'all are up there,
go see a series or something, or a couple. Because tickets really aren't that expensive to those. Baseball, softball out there.
No, they're less than $10, I think.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap. So,
but even if they're not doing media this year, all that stuff, or if they're limited it very heavily, I'm sure I'll be up there for a experience anyway.
Yeah,
because the media section up there where I sat last year, they've got the press box up there. I didn't go up in the press box though. They've got like a media section right below it where you're still kind of in the stands. And me personally, I love when I go to a ballpark like that. I like hearing the fans. I like hearing the crack of the bat. So I didn't really want to be in the press box. It was cold start of the season for the first few games against Wright State. That was one of the coldest experiences I've had. But yeah, like you said, anything if I'm covering sports, I could care less.
Yeah.
I'll do that on the face of the sun. Yeah, Twirl, So coming soon, guys. If you're tuned in, coming soon, we will have Checkerboard Check-In. You'll see the guys at Lindsey Nelson Stadium sometime this year.
We'll do special pregame segments, and then we'll do segments during the game. Each person will have the phone for 1 inning apiece.
D. Scott will run on the field with his shirt off.
100%.
We'll do some kind of fan interaction, something like that. This many retweets, this many views on the live video.
I'll paint myself up. I'll do whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever. We'll go down to because they hold the media availability in the weight room after the games, so it was cool getting to go down there last year. But we'll do something. This many retweets will we'll see if D. Scott can press this much weight, something like that. Probably get kicked out, but we'll see.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
But that's all I've got. Y'all got anything to close us out? Anything we missed?
Anybody got any picks of the week?
Oh, yeah, I forgot picks of the week. Cleveland Browns the Chiefs this week. Browns are team of destiny. I'm calling it now.
I like it.
I'm sure I won't get humbled. I'm sure I won't get humbled at all by this time next week when the Chiefs hang 50 on the Browns. But as of right now, everybody's dogging the Browns. The Steelers are still dogging the Browns. I'm not even a Browns fan, despite what Baker Mayfield did to Neyland Stadium that one time. I love Baker Mayfield. So I'm all aboard the Brown train right now.
I was so in shock watching that game. Just the way it started. Then to be up like 28-0. And then
I thought they'd win, but nothing like that. I was at work when y'all texting that, and it was 7-0, 14-0, 21, 28. It was
that was wild. So I'm gonna go Rams over Green Bay because I don't like Green Bay. So
Ramsey over Adams.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it. Yeah, I'm not a Green Bay fan either.
Yeah, so I'm going Rams over Green Bay.
All right. Well, my pick is I think Saints are -3 at home this week. Go ahead, 3-0 versus Tom Brady this year. Saints cover the 3 and take it to Green Bay for the NFC Championship.
I like that pick. Saints -3, you said?
Yep.
Yeah, I've already given my lock, but yeah, that's a solid one. Kansas City, when it opened, they opened at a 10-point favorite. So hammer the Browns. I think they're going. I'm taking Browns money line, but they'll cover at least. It's the year of the Browns.
I would love to see the Browns win the Super Bowl.
Oh, I would too. Browns, nice. Bills, Browns. Well, wait, no, they're both AFC, aren't they? Yeah,
they'd be the AFC Championship.
Yeah. I'd just love to see it in the Super Bowl, though.
Well, it's like I told Dad, like, it's weird, it's wild that 2 of the worst teams from the past couple of decades now have a chance at the AFC Championship and going to the Super Bowl.
If it weren't for the Titans, I'd be a huge Bills fan. I was Colts growing up just because they had Peyton, but since he left, I really have no connection to the Colts. So top 3, I'd go Titans, Bills. Then I'd probably go Bears just because I hate the Packers that much.
Yep.
3 teams won't break your heart at all.
Panthers, Browns, Saints. Or Panthers, Browns, Titans, Saints. That'd be my other 4.
Yeah, that's a solid group. I'd throw the Saints in there. Probably the Panthers too.
Yeah, I mean the Saints I like them. All right. The Panthers, they're close, and that's the first place I ever got to see a game. So that's kind of got a special place. So I always like seeing the Panthers do good.
Right. Well, book those locks the weekend. They're not going anywhere. I'll face it. I'll face the music when Kansas City hangs 50 on them. But you're not living if you don't pick the underdog, in my opinion.
That's right.
Unless you're picking the Saints. That's a good pick, Keenan.
Oh, yeah.
If Vol is on the team, Vol for Life's on the team. That
2.
Yeah, that'll
Marquez Callaway.
2.
Yeah, total.
Where's a Jumper at nowadays? Wasn't Jumper with the Saints?
It was amazing that he made an NFL roster in the first place, in my opinion.
Yeah, he played for the Saints a little bit. I don't know where he's at now, but yeah, I would have never picked Colton Jumper to be in the league. Props to him though.
Oh yeah.
Jumper.
Well,
Yeah, I never thought he was that great.
no.
He's still
My
like
main
that.
memories of Colton Jumper, he was the back of his jersey chasing Florida slot receivers down. So
Yeah.
but he was the best we had then. Not gonna hate on him. Well, that's all I had. Guess we'll wrap up now. See you guys next week, Thursday, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. We'll be back. I think the whole crew will be here probably.
Mhm.
D. Scott, you think you will?
Oh, I'll be traveling. I could probably get on. We'll probably be in the
Okay.
hotel room.
Okay, you good?
Yeah, I think I can make it work.
Gotcha. Well, we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for checking in. That's episode 3.
Sounds good. See you.
Later, boys.
Y'all take it easy, fellas.
See you guys.